Welcome to the podcast where we are going to discuss a movie. Okay, what did you think about it? I want to hear your thoughts before mine.
Okay. I would be surprised if we weren't on the same page, but I think we're probably going to be on the same page.
We'll see.
At least with certain things.
Okay.
Overall, very good.
Okay, I would agree with that, but the ending killed it for me.
In what way?
It was like I was en route to be like, this is a 10 out of 10 movie experience.
Yeah.
Where everything is perfect to me. It's everything that I want in a movie.
I think I know what you mean, though.
And then it's like they just took a shotgun and just killed it.
But I think you're being too hard on it. I don't think it's worth just shotgun killing it just because of the ending. No, it wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't that bad.
I don't think it was up to par with the rest of it.
It wasn't that bad. I could sum it up with one word why I didn't like the ending, and that's CGI.
Which part?
All of it. Like I honestly I hated so much of. Oh crap! I went the wrong way.
Well, most of the movie was technically CGI.
I know, and I didn't.
The
really,
last part
I didn't
was
really,
just noticeable CGI.
The last part was almost. It was just like a CGI fest.
Yeah.
And I
agree with that.
I hate when movies do that, where I'm not gonna be able to put any of this in the video because it's all spoilers.
So,
But
are you actually making a video?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
Whatever.
they basically
Spoiler review.
Spoiler review.
Spoilers.
I hated the ending because it was just a complete CGI nightmare. And a lot of the scares were CGI nightmares.
A lot of so the CG that was almost meant to look like it wasn't CG, because obviously all CG. Okay, let me just say this point, and then you can just say whatever you want. I think throughout the entire movie, there was a lot of CG, and the CG that was meant to look like it wasn't CG was really, really good. But
what though?
Like when he was
like
basically,
the subtle things?
Anytime he was contorting his body, anytime Pennywise was contorting,
okay.
that was CG, and that looked freaking insane.
Yeah, the simple stuff was good,
well,
but when he
not
turned
simple.
into some big monstrosity,
Like what? Which
any
specific
monstrosity, like whenever the painting monster
I
showed
thought
up,
that
I was like, oh look, we're watching a cartoon now.
See,
we're watching Pixar's Up.
I don't know why the CG during those parts.
It didn't look bad. It wasn't bad CG to me. It was just like, this isn't real now, and so my brain flips a switch.
See, but the thing is, I mean, okay, so I think this is me going easy on it or coming up with an excuse for it. But what I would say to that is it's not actually supposed to be real. Like, the parts with Pennywise are real things. Like, Pennywise is a real thing that they're seeing. But the painting thing is not. The painting thing is their imagination.
I know.
So if that doesn't look real, that kind of makes sense. I'm not saying they made it look bad on purpose.
Okay,
but it's not really supposed to be a real
here's
thing.
Here's what I appreciate about the movie. It made an effort to... Because other horror movies, which I can't stand, constantly tease you with scares.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, you see a little shadow of something,
No tease in this movie.
Oh gosh, what is going on?
Yeah, no tease in this movie.
There's no tease. They showed you everything.
Yep.
Nothing was a tease.
You thought you were going to see something, you saw it. What do you think about what
scenes? Okay.
said?
I was making the point that they showed everything, and that's why it required the CGI most of the time. Because you can't obviously. I mean, most of the time you wouldn't be able to have those things happening on screen.
Yeah.
If it was practical effects. But I would argue that you probably could do a lot of those things with practical effects.
Like what?
Okay, maybe not the big... Okay, actually, I would say, yeah, you could probably do it with practical effects, because, I mean, if you look at a movie like The Thing, the amount of crazy monstrosities, moving monstrosities that they created with practical effects, you can do it.
Okay, you can... But if you don't need to and it will still look good, then why should you?
I found out the other day that practical effects is a third of the cost of CGI.
Maybe not in this movie.
And yet they... Well,
maybe not in this movie.
Well, no, just on average, It's just. Yes,
You can go left. You're not turning here. You're turning over there.
Yeah. So, I was disappointed. I wasn't disappointed. Like I was on board with how the CGI was, up until the end.
Yeah. No, I agree.
At the end, I was like, all right, I'm just watching a cartoon now.
I didn't have any problems. Like, the CGI didn't stand out to me as something that I thought didn't look great or something I didn't like until the ending, where, I mean, it didn't distract me. I don't know how the book ends. If that's how the book ends, then fine. You're not going to change the ending of the book because it's not a good ending. Like, you have to follow the book. That's kind of the rule. You're not going to change it if it's bad.
Okay.
I thought the thing that bothered me about the ending wasn't the CG, but it was like the actual ending of the movie. And
you mean like the final fight scene or the?
See, I liked the first part of the final fight scene, but I kind of didn't want them to win, just because
I knew they were gonna win.
Well, I knew they would win too, but maybe I wanted it to go on longer. Like, I was hoping, like, when Pennywise fell in, like, the well almost towards the end, I kind of wanted there to be, like, one more final form.
I didn't.
Just because he was so cool looking that I could not get enough of him in this movie. I could not see Pennywise often enough.
I liked when he was Pennywise.
Me too.
But every time he turned into something, I was like, eh.
Not every time.
Not every time. A lot of the time. Oh crap! I can't see.
You don't have the headlights on?
No.
Wow. Well, good thing we noticed.
But yeah, when he transformed into something, when it was like a subtle transformation, like the scene in the beginning. I'm not gonna say details of the scene.
Why not? Spoilers.
All right, spoilers. Whatever. Okay.
We've already spoiled the movie.
When Georgie gets his arm ripped off, horrifyingly.
Oh my god.
I could not believe that. I could not believe it.
I was scared, but you must have seen my face. I must look like I was smiling like a freaking clown.
You are obnoxious during horror movies.
In what way?
Whenever something even remotely scary pops out, your body contorts.
I've never
like
seen a
Pennywise.
horror movie in theaters before. I don't have any experience.
Why do I feel like I've seen you react this way with movies though?
I think there were jump scares in some of the movies we saw in the Oscar Fest thing, but I don't remember what movie would have a jump scare.
Oh, it was Hacksaw Ridge.
Yeah.
Every time someone got
that was a good
shot, you just
there were good jump scares.
on the heat.
Well, because that's what gets rid of the thing.
Oh,
that's how defrost works.
Yeah, we gotta put it on
the. I mean, it worked really well.
So I don't care about that.
You gotta be able to see out of the windshield. Well,
Can you put it on?
Yeah, it's fine. But
okay, I overall, what I thought was great about the movie was everything else.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
About the entire rest of the movie.
Absolutely everything other than the CGI and the ending, I thought were near 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like, characters, amazing.
Freaking fit.
Like,
I love that so much.
The comedy, it was so funny. I could not believe I was laughing out loud during a movie.
Yeah. That doesn't happen with you very often.
Like that was I was amazed that I was laughing at jokes that somebody wrote.
And it was like with Finn's character, it was kind of, what was his name, Richie? I don't know. A lot of the time it was kind of the same joke over and over again, but I still kept laughing.
It was literally like your mom joke.
But it was funny because that's how kids that age tell jokes. Like it felt very realistic in that way. I was like, yeah, this is about right.
Yeah, it was really funny. So, I thought that it got a little cheesy towards the end.
With like the end?
Not like the end final scene end. I mean like
You're a fun person to drive.
kind of like the build up to the final conflict was just like, all right, like.
When they were when whatever the main character's name is, there isn't one main character, but Billy. When Billy saw Georgie in the sewer towards the end of the movie, and he was following him, and he just had like one arm, and he was talking to him, oh my god, I wanted to cry. I didn't think I could get emotional during a horror movie, but I thought I was going to cry.
Any scene at all with Georgie was like tear jerking.
Oh my god.
Like, man, like.
I didn't think it could make me sad.
That was rough.
But I thought I was gonna cry. And when he freaking bullet whatever, it's like the thing from the movie that we watched, No Country for Old Men, the weapon.
Yeah.
It was just like that.
The air gun.
Yeah. When he freaking air gunned Georgie in the head, I was like, "Oh my god!" I mean, I knew he was gonna do that.
The second I saw the gun in his hand,
No, I
like,
knew he was gonna do that, but it was still hard. And
yeah, that was rough. That was rough.
And after he did it, I was like, he's gonna like contort into something, right? And it was taking a really long time. I'm like, that wasn't actually Georgie, right?
I had that same thought. Like that would have been.
You didn't just screw that up, did you?
That would have been a nightmare.
Oh my god.
That would have been. That's a real way for Pennywise to scare him.
Yeah.
Is if you just don't do anything with that body.
Yeah.
Pennywise is just like, all right, I'm just gonna leave that kid alone, and I'm gonna come running up from the side.
Oh my god.
That's how I scare him.
To make him think that he actually killed.
To make him think that he actually killed Georgie. That would have been something else. But the thing is, like, what's his face? Donkey, the YouTube channel Donkey.
Yeah.
He just made a video about The Shining.
I watched that.
And he said, like, what he loves so much about The Shining is that other horror movies, because they always have that scene, he says in the video, you always have that scene where they explain everything about the monster.
Yeah.
And once the audience knows how the monster works, it's not scary anymore.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I felt in this.
I don't agree with that at all.
Like, when they got to the point where, like, when she stabbed it in the head, you immediately know, like, okay, this thing is defeatable.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
So it was no longer scary to me. Like, I was just like, just punch it. Just punch it in the face.
I mean, I'm upset by that. I'm guessing that's what happened in the book, but it just makes me upset. I guess I'm the type of person who wanted Pennywise to win.
Yeah.
Just because I thought he was so cool.
It's scary when a horror icon like that, because usually in horror movies, like,
I don't want him to
even
die.
though you figured out the.
But that's the thing is he didn't die. He just didn't win.
Didn't.
He didn't actually
No, obviously he didn't.
He didn't kill any of the characters.
I was kind of disappointed by that. Like I know
no one
obviously
died.
I know that's how the story goes, like in the book or whatever.
Yeah. It
But,
sucks because we can't really critique the story because they just went off the book.
I know.
So that's a difficult thing.
But like, it was like every time a character was in trouble, I was like, "You're not gonna die."
Yeah.
Because I know that the next book is when they're all adults, and so I'm like,
but
none of you are
there
dying.
There were characters there that I wasn't, because I don't. Yes, there's another part of the book where they're all adults, and it's going to be in the next movie, but I didn't know if it was all of the characters or just some of them. So like the chubby kid, Ben, I thought he was going to die.
I thought he was going to die too.
And I didn't know that he was. Maybe he did in the book and they just changed it because he's a funny character, but I don't know. I thought he was going to die, and every time he almost died, I got scared.
Any scenes with him or what's her face, Bethany?
Beverly.
Beverly? I was close.
Close enough, I guess.
I loved her character a lot.
Yeah, she was really good.
She has a very nice smile, also.
She's like 14.
I know. I was like, I'm not a pedophile, I swear.
Not the creepy pharmacist.
That was weird. I didn't understand what the heck the dad's deal was.
Okay,
I was
so
like, are you a rapist or are you just weird?
No, he's you'd have to read the book to know, but he sexually abuses her, and there's no way to know that. I mean, it's kind of like
it's implied.
It's implied, but they didn't want to show it.
If they're willing to show a kid get his arm bitten off and he just screams and tries to crawl away.
Violence towards kids and sexual acts towards kids are on an extremely different level. You don't think so?
Maybe in America.
Well, that is the country that we are in, and I would be way more comfortable seeing a kid's arm get ripped off than see a child get molested.
No, I'm not saying see the child get molested, but like imply that that's what's happening. Like
I think that was implied.
I know.
I think it was implied enough.
I didn't know if anything had actually happened yet. If he had actually done anything to her. Like,
I don't know what happened specifically.
Okay.
But you know the scene at the end of the book that Noah told you about that you said wouldn't be in the movie because no way.
Yeah.
That happened because she was sexually abused. That was like the revenge on her dad.
Oh.
Yeah. It was like, he abused me, so I'm gonna like take control of my life and do all this crazy stuff. It wasn't just like, well, we're down here anyway, so we might as well. It was a lot deeper than that. Because I actually read it last night because I was actually legitimately curious of what that scene was like. And it really was not super sexual at all. it was way more metaphorical. They barely even talked about what was actually happening.
Anyway, let's not talk about any of that. Let's
Okay.
talk about the movie. I thought that, I don't know, anything with her was great. Anything with the chubby kid, whatever his name is,
Ben.
he was great. I thought the editing in the movie was really great.
Yeah. The scene when she's in the sewer towards the end and he's like dancing.
That was awesome.
That was crazy.
That was awesome. That's a gifable moment right there. That is so good.
I want to use that as like a reaction.
I need that gif in my life. That was so good. I wanted more of that.
I know.
I wanted more of that stuff. Like, I was like, oh my god, Pennywise, you're insane. Like, what a crazy, creepy clown.
Because I remember watching one of the reviews that I saw. It was an early review. Who saw an early screening of the movie, and they said watching this movie is like being in a haunted house.
Yeah,
every time
it never
Pennywise,
let up.
No, I couldn't breathe.
It never. See, I wasn't really scared at all. I was never even really that nervous.
I was.
But what I will say is that it impressed me with how back to back the scenes were. Where it was just like, oh, now this scary thing's happening to this kid. Oh, now this scary thing's happening to this kid.
There wasn't a moment in the movie where I was like, wow, nothing is really happening. Right now.
Yeah, exactly. I was like so happy. I'm like, man, they really like crammed a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Into like a 2-hour runtime. It never felt rushed.
It felt short, if anything.
It felt short.
It went by fast.
Yeah, there was a moment in the movie where I thought it was going to end.
What part?
And I was like, no, you can't end it here. This makes no sense.
What part?
Like, there was, I think it was after the first time they went in the house, I think. And then, like, everyone kind of runs away, and then it kind of, like, pans up to the sky and fades to black. And I was like,
I know what you mean.
Oh no!
It's when they got into a fight.
I was like, don't freaking tell me this is where they're going to leave it and, like, leave you hanging until part 2.
I kind of thought the same thing, but I was like...
Did 2 hours go by already? I'm like, oh no, this would be awful.
I was like, no way this was
like, that would be so unsatisfying.
Because I thought the exact same thing. I was like, this could not have been
I
2
still
hours.
think it was slightly unsatisfying at the end.
I agree with that.
I was like...
I wanted... Well, see, my idea of unsatisfying is just like, I liked Pennywise so much that it wasn't really the way he died. I just kind of... Well, he didn't even die, he just ran away. But...
You think he didn't die?
Oh, no.
I mean, obviously he didn't die, because, like...
I still feel like he's more of an entity than a real thing.
Well,
it's hard to know.
They beat him up.
But it's hard to know what's actually real, though. You can't know.
They beat him up with a baseball bat.
I mean, I guess.
The second they started, like, getting hits on him and he was like, ah! I was like, oh, come on.
Jacob,
like, they're beating up Pennywise right now.
They also scrubbed blood off of the bathroom that apparently wasn't there either. So you can definitely interact with these things that aren't real.
I know. I'm just saying, like, why Pennywise started being, like, really, really not scary to me. Like, as soon as... By the way, did you hear somebody snoring behind us during the movie?
No, I didn't.
That was very frustrating.
I didn't hear any. I was very... The only thing that annoyed me during the movie is that there were people legitimately having a conversation.
I didn't hear any of that.
To my right. I looked over and they were just talking. I'm like... And
I heard somebody right behind me snoring loudly.
Oh my god.
I could not believe it. I was like, is somebody actually, like,
Why did you come
right
to the
now?
movie?
I could not believe it. But yeah.
I don't like the movies sometimes. Most times.
I thought we had... The moment where I realized that this movie was good, and, like, legitimately good, was when, like, scenes were happening. There was a scene with just straight up talking, like, two characters having a conversation, and
dead silent.
The theater was dead silent.
Yeah.
And everybody was just, like, focused on the movie. And I was like, okay, this is engaging people.
Yeah.
Like, people are interested in what's going on right now.
I mean, that's how you can tell if it's a good movie. It's if any other movie, people would
made the teens put their cell phones away.
Yeah, for the most part.
Where they were just like, "Wow, this is actually pretty good."
It literally blows my mind when people's phones ring during the movie. It says before the movie starts, "Turn off your ringer," and in order for that to happen, you literally have to blatantly ignore that message and say, "No, I don't think I'm going to get a phone call or a text. I don't want to turn off my ringer." I can't even believe that people
just don't think about it. They just don't really care enough to...
That blows my mind. I can't even believe that. Let me just check. Is this still going?
Yeah, it's still going.
But I'm trying to think of other things that happened. I think the scene in the house, the first scene in the house,
that was good.
Was probably my favorite scene in the movie.
That was among my favorite scene in the movie was the blood in the bathroom.
Really?
That was my favorite scene in the movie because I could tell it was all practical.
Yeah.
Like, they actually had, like, blood, like, spewing horribly out of that suit, out of that sink, and they actually made an actress poke her head in there and get splooshed in the face. And, like, it was actually, like, covering the walls, and her performance in that scene was so good.
It was really, really good.
It was blowing me away. It was actually, like, putting tears in my eyes, because I could see her emotion on her face as she was trying to, like, as she couldn't even believe it.
I want to know how old she actually is.
Yeah,
I'm legitimately
I'm
curious.
very curious.
Because she was freaking fantastic.
Yeah, she was really good. I mean, it got a little hokey at some parts where they're just like, we could beat it because we're friends.
Yeah.
And I'm like, eh.
I mean, isn't that kind of how the Goonies is, too?
I don't know.
Have you not seen that either?
No, I've never seen it.
Okay.
No, because I don't know. I don't think so.
Can we cut that part out of the video? People are not going to like that. Everyone's seen the Goonies. I don't know why I haven't. I should
But
probably
yeah, I don't know. I don't like that kind of thing, and I don't like when, like, they're being inspirational and, like, the music swells.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, this is kind of cheesy right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there were a couple moments like that.
I watched one video that said that it had a lot of cliches, but they did them differently enough so that I didn't really mind it.
I didn't really notice that many cliches. Not really. Did you?
No, I just think the part that you just mentioned about the inspirational. With
Yeah,
the
there was, like, a moment where I'm like, alright, this is this point in the movie where they're gonna say something inspirational and they'll all come back together as a team. Where it's like, alright, I've seen this scene in, like, 5
Something that
movies.
surprised me was when the chubby kid kissed Beverly and it actually worked.
I saw you laugh at that.
Because I didn't think it was going to work.
I mean, I think it's kind of stupid that it worked. Like,
okay, so I think the idea was, I thought he was going to kiss her, and then nothing was going to happen, and they were just going to go, well, it was worth a shot.
I hope that was.
It was worth a shot.
Because
I thought it was supposed to be the other kid who was supposed to do it,
Yeah.
like True Love's Kiss or whatever.
I hoped it was gonna. That would have been hilarious. If, like, the chubby kid kissed her and then nothing happened, and then the other kid tried kissing her and she woke up.
See, that's what I thought was going to happen.
That would have been funny.
I thought that was kind of, because I expected it, it wasn't what I wanted.
See,
when she actually woke up, I was like, wow, that was kind of funny.
No,
I didn't think that was going to work.
No, what I was thinking is, like, oh, he's gonna kiss her, and, like, before, like, once she got on the ground, I was like, okay, chubby kid's gonna kiss her, and she's gonna wake up, and it's gonna be really dumb. And then that's exactly what happened, and I was like, what?
But I didn't think it was dumb.
That was just about as dumb as I expected it to be.
I didn't think that was dumb. I thought that was surprising, and I thought it was funny.
Well, that's because
we predicted opposite things, and yours was the one that came true.
Stuff is more funny when it's not what you expect.
Yeah,
and
we expected
you weren't
things.
expecting that. I was expecting exactly that.
Yeah,
and I was like, and it's gonna be terrible. And it was terrible.
I don't think it was terrible.
I don't think it was terrible, but it was just like, whatever. Like, that's a scene that happened that I saw coming a mile away.
I love Pennywise.
Pennywise was great when he was a clown.
Like, I wish I owned this movie because I want to see him again.
Yeah, I mean,
he freaking draws you in.
Honestly, as I was watching, like, because, like, when I go to a movie, like, I want a movie to be, like, as unforgettable as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what I go for movies now, is, like, I want a movie where I can go on YouTube and look up, like, it, whatever scene, and, like, a video will come up, and a lot of people, like, a scene so good that people want to watch it again and again. Yeah. And I felt like the sink scene was, like, the only one.
That's the scene?
Yeah, because, like, it really, like, was done really well, I felt like.
I think a lot of them were. I just need to see the freaking scenes of him contorting. When he comes out of that, like, fridge-looking thing, and his body's all, like, curled up, and he starts coming out, and all of his body, like, snapping back into place, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, and he starts, like, dancing a little bit.
Yeah,
whenever he danced, it was great.
It's really scary.
Whenever he danced, it was funny, and I loved it.
See, I was laughing, but in a very uncomfortable sort of way.
That's what I wanted more of, was, like, uncomfortable comedy.
It almost made me feel like if I was in that situation, I would be laughing. But
no,
you would not be terrified.
You would not be laughing.
The kid
I could guarantee it.
Gave very, very, at least the germaphobe kid during that scene, he looked legitimately afraid.
There were some scenes where the kids could have looked a little more afraid.
I agree with that.
There are some scenes where these kids are looking at hellspawn, like demons beyond your worst nightmare, and they're like, Or they're just like making a spooked face, and
So-
I'm like, if I was in that scene, I'd be like, ah, like I'd be like screaming and crying and like
something that
trying
just,
to run away.
Something that just reminded me of how long this movie actually was is a scene that I almost forgot happened. Is the one they showed most in the trailers with the pictures in the slideshow thing. I almost forgot that scene happened just because so much happened after it. That was insane.
That was pretty. That was a good scene.
You
That was a
remember
great
you were
scene.
like, oh, it's just gonna cut off and it's gonna be a dumb jump scare, and I was like, I don't think this movie's gonna be like that. Every time,
it didn't have jump scares.
all of the stupid trailer jump scares did not cut where you thought they were gonna cut.
Yeah.
They continued. The scene didn't
Right.
end there, and
Right.
that one in particular got really, really good.
That was pretty good. Again, it was like CG.
I don't care.
Like I don't
That
know.
was
I don't know
insane.
what else they would have done. It surprised me.
There was no
There were some scenes
practical
where
effects
it was
there
like
that they could've
it's
done.
supposed to surprise me, but it really didn't for
Like
some
what?
reason. Like when the scene where what's her face? Beverly. I was gonna say Bethany again.
You said her, and I was like, it has to be Beverly. There's no other female characters in this movie.
Where she where the stuff happens with her dad at the end, and then she turns around and Pennywise like grabs her neck.
Yeah.
For some reason I saw that coming.
I saw it coming because
I was
I saw it in the
oh,
trailer.
I was like, oh, she's gonna turn around and Pennywise.
I saw that in the trailer.
But I didn't even remember. I wasn't even thinking of the trailer.
No, I did. I was
like, oh, she's. He's
I
gonna
saw
grab her neck right now.
I saw the setting, and I was like, oh, I remember this. And you can also something with horror movies, and I don't think you can really avoid it, or at least it's really hard to. Is the way you set up a shot, you can tell a jump scare is coming. Just by
there weren't
the
jump
way.
scares in this.
Okay, but you don't think that's a jump scare?
That was kind of a jump scare.
There were tons of jump scares.
Really?
Absolutely.
Like what?
Anytime with the freaking painting thing was a jump scare.
You think that was a jump scare?
Because he would like look one way and it wouldn't be there, and then you'd see like something creeping up behind him, and he'd turn around and it'd go blah, and it'd pop out of the dark.
No, but it didn't go blah. It like walked fully into the frame and then went blah. Like it wasn't like I'm scared of a loud noise.
Okay, I guess I know what you mean.
It was like,
well, then I
there's
guess,
a scary thing happening. It wasn't a jump scare. Like, it wasn't meant to make you jump.
Yeah.
It was just, the scene would start with like a screech.
Yeah.
Like, it
I
was
see what
kind
you
of
mean.
like, and it's like, oh crap, now he's under
I guess
attack.
I have to redefine what a jump scare technically
A
is.
jump scare to me is when there's build up.
It's like a cheap shot.
It's a cheap shot, complete cheap shot. And so many movies do it the exact same way, where the music is like, and then it goes dead silent for like 2 seconds, and then, bah! And then they go, and then it's gone.
Okay, so I guess
that's it.
Because another example of something that I guess the way I would consider a jump scare before now, any scare in a movie would be a jump scare, because
No.
you know, like, it follows when the thing comes through the doorway.
Yeah, that's not a jump scare.
I guess in a sense I would consider that a jump scare. So I guess
that's not a
I
jump
have
scare.
to change my
That wasn't a
definition
jump
of
scare.
it.
It's a surprise.
Yeah.
But it's not a jump scare because
Okay.
the scene keeps going.
So,
And the scary part isn't the noise.
Mhm.
It's meant to make you jump.
but I have a hard time
But
during the movie separating what actually scared me, whether it was the noise or the thing. Because
the
anytime
noise
in this
did
movie,
annoy me. The noise did annoy me.
it didn't annoy me because I feel like I wouldn't have. I feel like this movie, you can't not have it. I really feel like it doesn't. It's not there to make you jump, but I feel like it's the way to get you.
Wrong.
Okay, can I go? Can I talk?
Go ahead.
I feel like
I would just completely disagree.
okay, so you can't start a scene with music that's like already built up. So I think a lot of the times the sound, at least in this movie, can be used as a way to jump you into the intensity of it. Like, say he's just walking around in the room and he walked by the painting or whatever, and you hear the noise where it fell down, and then if he like started walking into the frame and there was no noise, the scene would start where it's chasing him, and they would have to just all of a sudden add music into that. I feel like what the jump scare sound does is it goes bum, and then the scene continues and it goes bump, 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 and it's still going, and your heart starts getting pumped up like that, and then as it continues, it's already like that, and then the scene is intense. I feel like you have to get you into that music. You can't just like fade in the scary music,
Right.
the intense music.
Here's
it has to start from somewhere.
Here's my counter argument here. you are explaining why that is in the movie, and I get why that's in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I just think there's a way better way to do it.
And what's
like,
that?
Way better way. Have nothing. Have
know.
the horrifying sounds of the creature, and let me give examples. Because I'm just gonna have to compare everything to The Thing now because I just love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think that movie is horror magic.
Yeah.
There's no music in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's none.
But there's good jump scares.
They're not jump scares. It's just horrifying things are happening, and
Mm-hmm.
people are going, ah, and it's dead, no music whatsoever, and all you can hear is the creature going, ah,
So you don't
like,
think it's a jump scare when he has the hot thing and he sticks into the thing and it goes woof?
yeah, but it doesn't make the soundtrack doesn't make a
Okay,
noise.
fine. The thing makes a noise.
The thing makes a noise, and here's where I'll say this movie failed, is when sometimes when something would happen, the sound. And I said this in my pre-review, where I was like, this is something that I hate in horror movies, is when something not even that scary is happening on screen, but they add a sound, not even just a really loud sound to, like, make you jump, but a sound that isn't even in the world of the movie, where it doesn't make any sense that sound would be being heard. Like, there's a scene where a kid, like one of the bully kids, when they see him in the house, laying on the ground, they see him, like, up in a room ahead, and he's laying on the ground.
Yes.
Through a door.
Yeah.
And he looks at them for a second, and then he gets dragged away.
Yeah.
Once he gets dragged away, you hear the big, like, boom!
Yeah.
Like loud sound, and you hear, like a, ah! Like a girl screeching voice.
Yeah.
And I was like, that sound doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, why did it play that sound when he got dragged away? Is there a girl screaming? Like, why are they playing that sound? It was because it was their go-to jumpy spook sound.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, that's not working.
In that sense, the movie's not perfect. I guess, maybe I won't give it a pass for it, but I kind of want to. I mean, the year is 2017, and unfortunately, I'm not gonna get what I want, which is an 80s horror movie. And it didn't do it as much as most do. So I'll take that as something. It's an improvement.
I thought like so much of it was capturing the charm of the time period.
Yeah.
Like anything with like either just Pennywise the clown,
Mm-hmm.
or just the kids interacting, or even the early scenes where the kids are seeing Pennywise like around. Like I noticed the scene where he's like holding the triangle of balloons.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could kind of tell that they're not balloons, they're flat. It was so funny that I noticed that. Like, because you see him slightly moving it around. The bottom balloon is real, but everything else is like a cardboard cutout.
I did not notice that.
Like, oh my god, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Was it supposed to be like that?
Well,
was that the idea?
I appreciate it because it's practical.
Yeah.
Like, those balloons are really there, but like I noticed they looked flat. I was like, those aren't.
But I'm surprised they didn't just get real balloons.
Those aren't real balloons. Well, because then
Maybe
they would be blown in the wind,
Yeah.
and like they wouldn't be in the perfect triangle, and so it
looked really good though.
I don't know why I noticed it, like because obviously it's the trailer shot, so you don't focus on it. But then I looked at it. I looked at the top of it because I saw like the balloons on either corner like kind of like move and sync a little bit. I was like,
so weird.
Oh no! I
did
gotcha.
not even notice that.
I caught your effect.
It looked really good.
It looked good.
I don't know how you make such a good
I laughed to myself because I'm like, whoops.
I don't think that's a whoops. I think
No. It's obviously not a whoops. Like it's like I like stuff like that. Like I appreciate stuff being practical.
That looks so cool though. That's one of my favorite shots.
Yeah, that's
something I would want a
awesome.
poster of.
That was awesome.
This movie is like I feel like I can also judge a movie on at least its cinematography on if there are any shots in it that are so iconic that I would want a poster of them. And I feel like that happened a lot in this movie.
I feel like
there's tons of things I would get a poster of.
Most of it was great, but there were times like during any kind of intense action-y moment, I kind of hated the camera work.
It was very
jumpy.
Cam.
It was a lot of shaky cam. It was a lot of like intense like cutting, very quick cutting, and I miss just a solid shot.
Yeah.
Just show me what's happening. Like, just plain and simple. And I feel like that's kind of like a product of the CGI.
Because you don't want to make it
Because you don't want to make it look so bad. But it was obviously, it's obvious, so why try to hide it? Like, if you're going to do CGI, it's going to look like CGI.
I mean, why they make movies the way that they do. Because, see, I feel like I can't always criticize, because I wasn't on the set where they were making this movie. I don't know what problems they ran into. I'm sure, maybe there were ideas for certain things, and the director was like, I really would like to do it like this. And then he was told by another producer, that's not going to work, we have to do it like this.
No, because I said in my pre-review, too, like, this guy also directed Mama.
Mm-hmm. They had a lot of CG.
And my biggest problem with Mama, I was so engaged, and then the whole ending, and, like, every time they showed the ghost, it was just like a cartoon character.
Yeah.
And even at the end, like, they were showing the ghost, like, full force, and it was contorting and, like, had eyeballs growing out of its fingers, and I'm like, this is all fake.
Yeah.
Like, this is all just like an animation.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look good
the only thing
when it's, like, next to people.
There were parts of this movie where I was afraid. I can't remember what parts specifically, but there were parts of this movie where I was I jumped backwards into my seat. Not just because it was a jump, but what I was actually seeing. It was probably the first time they went into the house.
A lot of that was good.
I don't remember the beginning part of that. Because remember, he was alone. Was it after he broke his arm? Or after he fell and broke his arm? Was that the first time they went in the house?
Yeah.
I feel like that was the second.
Nope, that was the first time, because he has a cast the second time he goes.
Oh, okay.
Well, the second time they go, they don't even look around the house. They just go right to the well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah, because the first time is they see the... Okay, I remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought most of the movie...
His freaking broken arm. I thought I was going to pass out. Oh, my God.
Really? I didn't think it was that bad.
You didn't think it looked good?
No, it looked good. I'm just saying, like, it didn't make me uncomfortable or anything.
Oh,
I was just like, ooh, ouch. Like, that was it. I thought when I was saying, ooh, ouch, like, big time, was when, like, the kid was carving into the kid's stomach.
Oof.
I was like, oh, my God. That's when you could tell that the main bully is, like, tapped.
Yeah.
Because even his friends are like, dude, stop.
Yeah.
And he's just, like, getting so much pleasure out of, like, cutting this guy's
that
stomach. And I'm like, this guy's a sociopath.
That scene was like a wink and a nod to the beginning scenes of the book.
Yeah, I noticed that, too.
Even the balloon that
That's
said...
why I thought he was going to die.
The balloon that said, I heart dairy, that was, that's what the gay kid was wearing on his hat.
Oh.
Yeah. That's the hat, and he was like, you don't deserve to wear this, like, we don't like you, we don't want you here.
Yeah.
So they wanted to, like, say, we would have put this in the book.
It doesn't fit.
It doesn't fit right now, specifically in the times. Like, hey,
no, it doesn't fit. Because that's a totally different group of people, I think, in the book.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, because like
I think that's
because in the book,
I think that's a set of murders like before.
Yeah.
I think that's like 27 years earlier.
Maybe
like the 50s or something.
Because in the book, I know at that scene with the bridge, they throw the kid off. Mm-hmm. Like, they carve into him or whatever, and then they throw him off. And then when they go down there, he's dead, horribly, like, from the cloud.
He got, like, a bite taken out of him.
He got a bite taken out of him, and, like, it's clear that Pennywise killed him. And so that's what I thought was going to happen to the kid. I was like, oh, no, he don't deserve this.
When he kicked,
like, this is a horrible way to go.
When he kicked and fell backwards, I thought he was going to fall into, a stream.
Yep, me too. I thought that's what
he hit dirt, and I was like, what? This isn't what I thought it was.
I was shocked he didn't die in that scene.
Yeah, me too.
I was shocked. I feel like I feel like he kind of should have.
I feel like he stuck around more than he was supposed to. Yeah. I think he way overstayed his welcome. He came across as a character that was supposed to be like, this is how you know how evil Pennywise is, because he'll kill anyone in awful ways. Like he was supposed to be the example, but I guess Georgie was the example.
Yeah, but I don't know. I wanted Pennywise to kill more.
I was so happy with that Georgie scene just because. Okay, so first I was happy because I've only read, and it was fairly recently, I've only read maybe the first 60 pages of the book.
Yeah, same pretty much.
And
I read like the first like half.
Yeah. But I read the first 60 pages, and the beginning of the movie is on point to those 60 pages, where he doesn't just make the boat and then go outside, where he has to like go down into the basement, and he sees those two like dots.
That was pretty scary.
Whew.
That was creepy.
That movie started, and I was like, here we go. I'm already really scared right now.
That was pretty creepy.
I did not like that one bit. When he bit his arm off, that was like a fantastic way to
that's a scene that I would go back and watch.
That was a good way to show the audience basically we're not afraid to kill children.
Then it kind of stopped after that. See, there were
no more kids die in the book.
There were points in this movie where
that's the only time when a kid dies in the book.
Is that a flaw with the story then? Because like
I'm going to any flaw with the story of this movie. I'm not going to hold against anyone who wrote this movie because it's not their fault.
No.
I'm going to hold it against Stephen King.
A critique of the story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Why does Pennywise suddenly just stop killing people when he frightens them? Because they're scared originally. Mm-hmm. Why doesn't he just kill them right there? Why'd he kill Georgie?
See,
what's the difference?
It seems like it takes a lot of persuasion in order to lure them in. Like, it's like they can't be running away or else he can't kill them.
Yeah, but how did it work so easily with Georgie?
Because Georgie wasn't running away. Georgie stayed. Georgie willingly came in closer to Pennywise. But
he wasn't scared. That's why I was so confused. I'm like, I don't get the rules. I don't get the rules of this guy.
I don't understand the rules of the evil dancing clown.
I didn't.
That's a good
you have
point,
to have
though.
rules, though. In a movie
I mean,
like
I feel
this.
like
It has to make sense.
I feel like it can make sense. I just can't figure it out right this very second.
I don't know. I want to read the book after seeing this.
Same. Yeah.
Because I'm curious the details like that.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they probably go over the details like that.
The book is really good.
It didn't like portray it very well. I don't feel like I was kind of confused. I'm like, why did Pennywise run away there? Or like, why did he let him get away? Like, why did he stop doing spooky things now that he like ran out of a certain vicinity?
I really don't know.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I couldn't tell you why he stopped.
Like
he had so many opportunities to kill them.
Yeah.
And he just didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like I was thinking that during the movie. I'm like, is it over? Like he went under a fence and that means he can't.
Yeah, that's the one I keep going back to.
He can't jump a fence.
He was being chased by the leper, and then you turn around and Pennywise is behind all the cardboard balloons.
Yeah.
But he doesn't go after him. He just stands there. I understand it's like you want to make sure they're still scared, but he was very much scared anyway.
Well, why would they be scared if he's not killing them?
I mean,
he's not killing anybody.
You're still going to be afraid.
How are they going to be scared?
I feel like
eventually they started seeing through it. Like they were just like, oh, it's not real.
Yeah.
Let's just punch him in the nose. Let's just hit him with a stick.
Yeah.
Stab him in the eye. Pennywise ain't crap.
I kind of want to watch the miniseries.
Me too, kind of.
Because I want to know if the same type of thing happens.
I heard that the first half of the miniseries, as with the kids, is great.
Yeah.
And then the second half, as adults, is terrible.
Yeah. I hope it's not the same. Cool, because I understand that. Because I really, really, really want to see the sequel. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, me too.
But I think about them as adults, and I'm like, that's going to be dumb. Because
why is it going to be dumb?
Because I liked them as kids.
I don't think it'll be dumb.
I don't want them to be
I'm
adults.
looking forward to it.
Because then I
think it'll be awesome.
Because the first thing you're going to have to look at is the casting. You're going to have to be like,
I know.
Oh, they don't look like them. It looks different.
Whatever.
They didn't cast them good enough. Why would you put this person as that person? They're going to be like, people are going to instantly critique, like, why are you putting so big celebrities at the head of this movie? Like, it's dumb.
Okay.
But
time for the final verdict. Just give your overall summary of how you felt about the film and give it a number.
God. Overall,
without spoilers.
We already spoiled the whole.
I know, but
thing.
I'll put in this part.
You'll be like, skip to so ever many minutes to see the rating, but not the actual movie spoilers. But I think overall it was. What did I give it before we started? I gave it an 8, right? An 8 point something or 9. I think I gave it a 9.
You gave it a 9 point something.
You said no points. So
I said no points.
So I think I gave it a 9.
You would give it a 9 before, yeah.
It's hard to say whether or not it exceeded my expectations or was right at my expectations. I hate to say that it was below my because I don't think it was below my expectations. I just feel like I still want to watch more of the movie. Like, I didn't want it to stop, so I feel like I'm disappointed, but I'm actually just like, I liked it so much that I didn't want it to stop happening. So I think because of that, I can give it a high score still. I think 9 is fair. Am I allowed to give it points now, or do I just stick with solid numbers?
Solid number.
I'm going to stick with 9. I think it was everything that I wanted, and in a lot of ways more. But since I'm not going to give it a 10 because it wasn't perfect, but I'm also not going to say that it was below what I originally expected, so I kind of have to stick with a 9. If I could give points, I'd give it like a 9.5, but I can't, so I'm just going to stick with a 9.
Okay. I'm going to say that it was almost exactly what I was expecting. So, what was it? I don't know. We're getting, this is a live recording of Jacob and Peyton dying to a creepy clown in the driveway. We heard a spooky noise.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
That was a very weird spooky noise.
Uh-huh. It was.
The doors are now locked.
I already locked mine right when I heard it. The first thing I did.
Anyway.
Okay, so I'm not going to say this movie didn't leave an effect on me spookiness-wise, because the first thing I thought of when I heard that sound was, a clown is about to appear by my window, and he's going to look like Pennywise. So, definitely spooked by the fact that this movie exists. Like, it definitely scared me.
Okay, I'll sum up my thoughts like this. I would say it was exactly what I expected in that it was good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the performances were top notch. For child actors, amazing. Best child acting I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'd say best child acting I've seen since Room.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was great. I thought for the most part the cinematography was really great. I don't think they did anything like unique and interesting at all. I felt like it was good. Like,
the only part that I thought was unique in terms of the camera work was when he was dancing towards the end. I thought that was very
interesting. I don't know if that had anything to do with the camera work, but
yeah, it's definitely something to do with the camera.
No, because it was just him, how he was moving. The stage was like solid, like where he was standing.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like how he was dancing. Anyway.
Well, no, it wasn't, because
it was.
the camera, it was like the camera was following him and not just standing still. So like if he was doing like a jump thing, the camera was like centered on him. You know what I mean? Did you not notice that? It wasn't just a still of him dancing.
Was the whole world moving? Really?
Uh-huh.
So it was just focused on his head? No, it was focused on his...
It was like focused on the way his body was moving.
Really?
Yeah.
No, because then his head would be moving.
No, Jacob. All I know is it was not a still shot. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I feel like it was.
The whole world was moving in that dance.
Really?
I would not have thought that was weird if that wasn't happening. That scene would not have been as creepy if I wasn't straight up tripping out when I saw that.
It was a weird... Okay, it was a very strange shot. I loved it.
It was moving. The camera was not still.
Really?
Yes.
I thought it was just like he was dancing and his head wasn't moving.
I don't think so.
Because that was weird to me. It's like, his whole body is moving and his head is totally still.
I think the camera was moving.
Alright, maybe you're right.
I'm almost positive.
Anyway, other than that, I felt like some scenes in particular were really great, really effective.
I'm sorry. Well, I wanted to mention another thing about the camera work. Another thing that was unique is like when he was straightening the picture frame and it was like he was straightening the camera. Remember when they did that?
I didn't even notice that.
See, I noticed things this time. I was looking for stuff.
Well, I noticed a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that was one thing I noticed. Is that when he was straightening the picture frame, it was straightening the camera.
I didn't notice that.
I thought that was cool.
Okay, anyway. Camera work was good. It was effective. Did what it needed to do, except during any sort of high intense action scenes. I thought it kind of went kind of crappy. Yeah. I was like, I wasn't lost during the scenes. Like, I knew what was happening, but I was like, you could have done this so much better.
I didn't think it was really bad. I just thought it was...
No, it wasn't bad. Like, it worked. Like, it was functional for the movie, but it kind of like it like soured what it had built up. I felt like it didn't feel like that. It felt like two different movies. It was like, this is intense action horror movie, and then this is like suspenseful thriller with kids in it.
Because I didn't want them to just fight Pennywise physically like that. I kind of wanted them to beat him in a more, I don't know, strategic way.
Alright, let me wrap this up, because I have school.
So do I.
I thought that Pennywise himself was overall pretty good, with the exception of any time it went over the top. I didn't really care for those scenes. I'd say the script was pretty great. overall, every character kind of had their own arc,
Except for one kid.
except for the Jewish kid, right?
Yeah.
The Jewish kid had nothing.
They literally... he was the picture guy, but...
Yeah, I know, but
they did not focus
but there
on
was
that
there
at
was
all.
no reason. Like the picture had nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
Like there was no reason for him to be afraid of that, other than the fact that he saw it in the beginning.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was kind of like...
I saw that interview, like, somebody got left behind, and that would be him.
Yeah, missed opportunity.
I don't understand.
So everyone had an arc, except for him, which was pretty random.
I mean, I don't really care.
I mean, I don't know. It's something. It's like a flaw in the screenplay.
No, yeah.
Which is definitely like worth
Because
mentioning. It's worth mentioning because it's noticeable.
There's no way that wasn't... Because there's no way that happened in the book. The book's freaking 1,500 pages long. They saved a chapter or two for that kid, for sure.
Yeah. All right. So. Anyway, let me wrap this up. I thought it was good. I thought it was well above average.
Yeah, definitely.
In terms of horror movies and even movies in general, I thought it was well above average. I don't think it was great. I don't even think it's particularly memorable. I wouldn't even go that far. I'd say a lot of this movie, I really enjoyed it, but it's not something that I'm going to be thinking about, like past like today or tomorrow. It didn't leave an impact. It didn't leave a lasting impact.
I think if I didn't have other things to think about, then I might think about it. But I kind of I have to go to school. Like, I think I'm just going to get distracted.
No,
I don't have time to think about it.
I can tell, like, a lot of the scenes kind of blended together.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, when you're saying, like, oh, was this the first time or the second time they went to the house? That, I feel like, already is kind of telling, like, those two encounters blend together. Mm-hmm. Like, nothing, like, left, like, an impact. Where you were like, this is this scene, and this is another scene. Like, and that's, I feel like, a product of CGI. Mm-hmm. A lot. Like it's everything kind of like when everything is over the top and larger than life, mm-hmm. everything kind of just mushes together. Yeah. Like nothing is special when it all looks the same. Mm-hmm. When it's all like crazy, like hitting the fan. Like you have to have moments of like big payoff. So anyway, thought it was good. I'd give it a 7. I'd say 7. I went into it thinking that it was going to be a 7. I would give it a 7. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was good. That's all I have to say about it. So that was our podcast.
Because you're gonna be happy to hear what the news I read on